One of the most important lessons that I've learned in business is to turn customer complaints and dissatisfaction into an opportunity. And this is especially important when you're in the restaurant business because so much of what determines a restaurant's short-term and long-term success is word of mouth. So if you have a customer that's very unhappy and it's not resolved, or even worse, it's handled poorly, and that person goes out into the world, every time your restaurant comes up, they're going to badmouth it. And you can't even quantify how much business they're going to turn away. And then, of course, it spreads exponentially because everyone they spoke to will also say the same thing. But conversely, if you turn a negative or what's perceived by a customer to be a negative experience into a positive, you not only have saved that customer, but I have found that when a customer goes from feeling dissatisfied or unhappy to being over the moon happy and that they've been listened to and that their issue's been addressed, they become even more of an advocate and a fan of your restaurant. So the first thing is, of course, anytime a customer has any complaint whatsoever, if you're the owner of the restaurant, go out there. If you're not there, train your management team to first go out there and listen attentively. Don't interrupt the customer. Don't judge what they're saying. Don't rifle through your mind all the ways you disagree with them or they're wrong. It really is not an issue of right or wrong because you're not getting into a debate. You're looking to turn a situation around into a positive marketing vehicle for your business. So you have to be mentally disciplined. Listen attentively to what the customer has said. When they're finished speaking, the first thing I always do when a customer takes the time to share with me where they're dissatisfied is I thank them. Because the truth of the matter is, the easiest thing for a customer to do, whether it's in my business, your business, or any business, is to simply not say anything, never come back, and say horrible things about your company. So I always appreciate it when someone takes time out of their day to share with me what they were unhappy with, because it's actionable advice from real-world customers that I can use to transform my business. So the first thing I do is I thank them for taking the time to share with me in detail why they're not happy. The second thing I do is I immediately address whatever their dissatisfaction is. So for example, if you have a customer who's unhappy with the way their waiter treated them, didn't like the way the food came out, didn't like the cocktail, didn't like anything, you have to first say, I am so sorry you had that experience. I understand why you're saying that. Here's what I'm going to do to make it right. If the person is still sitting there and let's say they have a problem with their appetizer, you have to do the following. You have to say, I'm so sorry that happened. Let me send you out another one on the house. Or let me offer you a different appetizer on me. Now, some people will say, well, why should I do that? I'm going to get taken advantage by scammers. People are taking advantage. If you have a negative attitude like that, and you're thinking about saving the $7, $8, $9, $10, $20, whatever the food cost is on an item, I don't think you're long for business because you're thinking way too short term and way too small. You have to realize that in most cases, someone who's coming into your business is not doing it to scam you. You want to make them happy. So as I say, if they're still in your restaurant, it's early on in the process, make them happy in real time. If they've completed dining at your restaurant and they come and they say, I just have to tell you, that was the rudest waiter I ever had. That was the worst meal I ever had. This was this was that. You then say to them, I am so sorry you had that experience. That is totally unacceptable. I would love for you to come back as a guest of mine, and I want to redo this experience to make it great for you. If it's a specific complaint about a staff, have them tell you as much information as they can, such as saying, I'm so sorry that happened, and I'm so thankful that you shared this information with me. Can you tell me exactly what happened? Because if you have customers that are complaining about staff and they can tell you exactly what they're doing wrong, they're making you money because they're helping you train your staff and they're giving you real-time critiques. So get that information out of them and then invite them back as your guest. Depending upon who the staff member is, if it's one of your better members and you know that they're mature and you know they're a team player, you can bring them into the conversation to apologize. Bring them into the conversation and say, I'm really sorry you had that experience. It wasn't my intention. I was distracted. Or whatever the case may be. Never get into a debate. Never make the customer wrong. Listen attentively. learn from what they're saying, but have them leave happy. The way you do that, you thank them profusely for taking their time to speak with you. You either offer them a free appetizer, invite them back as your guest, give them a voucher, send them a written note if it's a regular, you know where they are. Do the human touch so that when they walk away, they say, wow, this is a business that listened to me. This is someone who cares. I had a great example of this that I'll share with you. It happened in my house. We had a sink that leaked, caused a lot of damage. We called the plumbing company. He sent a guy. The guy came and he said, yep, it's fixed, no problem, everything's good. So before I went to bed that night, just to be safe, I put my hand underneath the sink. It was in the kitchen, underneath the cabinetry, and sure enough, it was leaking. I turned off the water. My wife called the plumbing company. It was at 9 o'clock. The owner answered, I'm so sorry that happened. I'll be there myself to take care of it tomorrow. I'm really sorry we caused you any stress. Sure enough, he was there the next day, brought another guy with him, fixed the problem, again apologized, said, I'm really sorry that caused you any stress. I know what the problem is. If there was any damage that was above and beyond, let me know. And then he called me back that night to say, just checking in, is everything good? Now, I'm going to recommend that plumber to everybody in town. And this is a plumber who sent a guy, didn't fix it, caused another, and it leaked again. And if I didn't check it would have caused damage. But I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking this is a guy that really took care of the problem and I feel good about him. That's what you want. You turn it into a positive, turn your customer complaints, turn negative, quote unquote, circumstances into two things. One, learning opportunities. They're giving you real-time actionable information. And two, turn them into absolutely raving fans of your business so that they go out there and tell everyone how great you are. That's how you handle problems.